These are characters, all of whom, every one of them came from some sort of dysfunctional background. All of them had death in the family. That brought them together because they had something that they understood about each other. So the differences between the characters sort of fell to the side because the overwhelming problems that they had were the same. Raven is a perfect example because she forms the Teen Titans, and it's all about her father. It's all about what she may be releasing onto the planet. You have Starfire, who was sold into slavery. You have Cyborg, who was destroyed. His father rebuilt him against his own will. You have Robin, whose family was destroyed. So every single one of them, in one way or another, comes from a dysfunctional background.
Some kind of tragedy that all befell them.
These characters were created from They were created with a sense of problems and story that really made them infinitely more relatable than actually the more recognizable characters.
It's really interesting because I had wanted to write a story with the Titans, but not using any of our characters, using their doppelgangers in the original Greek and Roman mythology, because all of them have sort of a version that you can find there.
You know, thinking back on things, it seems so obvious. It's like they're called Titans. That comes from mythology. So why not tap into something that's sitting right there? It's handed to you.
Hephaestus was certainly Cyborg, someone whose body had been destroyed and had to be rebuilt. Wonder Girl, obviously, because she comes from a mythological background. Diana, the Huntress, in a way. With Changeling, it's very much like
Huntress.
Starfire was Apollo,
the sun.
with the sun powers, only the female version. So the type of characters you deal with have a long history, but it's how you put them together today and the dealing and the problems that they have today. That's what you're dealing with.
But the people who did Teen Titans before that were just doing superhero comics. They weren't doing mythology.
Mythology based in
They were doing adventures.
Tough.
Mythology is bigger than adventures.
Very much.
When George Perez launched New Teen Titans, I think he was at the top of his game. And he was just getting better with every issue. The art was getting
everything
more
has its
rich
rise
with
and
every
fall.
issue. And that level of depth and detail that he put into his work made that world so much more immersive. And then when you had the depth of storytelling that Marv put into that, you couldn't help but get caught into it and follow that series.
The Judas Contract.
Well, I think the Judas Contract was the story that really showed people that they could be surprised.
In terms of me, and in terms of the book, the Judas Contract was a point where the Titans, for the first time, death is pushed to their faces.
Oh boy.
And nothing they can do can change it.
Slade,
it wasn't just for shock value, it was actually emotional value. It was devastating. And it was devastating for each of the Titans on different levels. But it showed that you could mix it up. And you owed the audience that ride. And I do think that may have changed the way other people approached their stories after that.
Now they're being shown that the world is a little bit more subtle than they thought it was. That they can't just come in, beat up somebody, and everything's going to be good from that point. Because you don't know what's out there.
Don't know what's really going on.
I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing to have them confront reality, but that's certainly where that story, as I was plotting them, took me.
Shall I come a Titan?
Judas Contract definitely helped reset the tone of anything can happen in Teen Titans in
anything
particular.
can happen in comics.
But it also showed the ongoing series creators that they could mix it up.
Every so often.
And they could surprise people, and they should be doing
Mind-blowing.
that. Titans really showed that even the ongoings need to have some kind of, kick in the pants every now and then.